Let me just accept this. Yay. So welcome everyone. In this day where the time is kind of changing, you may be feeling a bit like, oh God, like what is happening? So let's take this almost like a morning practice, as if like we're really waking up to energize ourselves, activate our joints. And then at the end, we're gonna do this set that's called Shibashi, which is one of the traditionally most commonly practiced forms of Qigong all around the world. So it's kind of nice and easy. Depending on the intensity, you can adjust many things. So let's begin. So we're just gonna start by activating like the back line of the body. So drop your head a little bit down, almost like leaning forward. Your stance is about like shoulder width apart, your feet are parallel. And as the head is leaning slightly down, start to tap with your fingers to the C7 vertebra. That's like the bony, pokey bone, let's say, at the like base of your neck, let's say. Just do that a little bit. This is where the yang energy rises, like it's one of the top points to activate the energy. So like a good thing to do in the mornings. And then slowly release the hands and kind of a little bit stay in this almost like slouched position and start with your like the attention now is your on your neck and start to turn your head a little bit to activate the cervical vertebra. And anything that I'm guiding, by the way, if it doesn't feel right or if it feels too much, don't do that. Just stay in very close contact with your body. Turn your head again, just side to side like that, a few more times. And then slowly take your head to the center and then move it up. And then just a few things, again, just circle, but do it very slowly so that the cervical vertebra is feeling okay. And reverse it now a little bit to the other side. Circle. And then come to the center and just like become aware of this area. And now circle the shoulders, moving on to the shoulder joints. Just simple up and down. We're doing from like forward, up and down. And then reverse it now, like back, up and down. So you can feel like the shoulder blades at the back coming close towards each other. So we're kind of activating all of the joints. And now to just add on top of this, in case if there is any tightness in your shoulders, we're gonna do a little bit of a massage here. So bring your like opposite hand to your neck area and squeeze it a little bit on the just sides of the spine on your neck, and then come to the middle. The middle point is like, this is the end, this is like your neck. So find a midpoint where it may feel, oh my God, so much tightness. So with your fingers, 4 fingers at the back, thumb at the front, really give it a nice squeeze. And now have this shoulder come very close to the ear. Like, bring it very close as you are tightening, squeezing the hand still there. Do that 2 more times. Tighten, tighten, tighten. And then one last time, release and then tighten. As you're squeezing this area, squeeze, 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 and then feel like, oh my God, this is too much, right? And then slowly release. And then check, how does it feel on this side? Just notice the changes that are happening. And then move to the other side. A little bit on the side of the neck again. We're just relaxing and releasing the shoulders, the neck. And now again, find this midpoint and have this sense of really pinching going on and make it like a firm, nice squeeze. I know some of you are maybe very sensitive, so just find the level, the intensity that's gonna work for your own body, but just work with that a little bit because it takes time to really relax this muscle. And just a little bit more. And now we're gonna do the same thing, bring the shoulder to the ear. So as you keep squeezing, Shoulder to the ear, hold it here. You can even like hold your breath. And release. Same thing, bring the shoulder to the ear. Release. Last one. And just hold it here. Feel the tightness, almost like you are exaggerating this intensity, tightness, squeeze. And then release. And then check again. And notice how almost like this whole area, shoulders, neck, head, your overall connection, almost like the spine. Notice it's like the changes that are happening. And now we're just going to move, adding on, almost like expanding from this area of the body to the other parts. So have your hands facing down. Your stance is the same. Knees are soft here. Spine is long. And when you are inhale, when the hands are facing down. And then open the hands when you exhale and turn with your head to one side. Gaze towards the sand. Inhale back to center. You can have a gentle kind of softening in your knees if you want to. And then turn to the other side. Inhaling. Knees soften. Exhale. Open. Inhale back. Exhale, open. If you have a lot of like tightness in your neck area, you can have your, when you turn your head to side, even like go beyond your hand if this stretch kind of feels good for you. Otherwise, just turning your head to side is enough. And exhale. Let's do one more time each side. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. With your next inhalation, bring the hands to the center and adjust the position. So now your hands are going to be, elbows are going to be at the front. They're kind of parallel to each other. And we're going to be doing spinal cord breathing. So when you inhale, opening the chest and taking the elbows a little bit back. As you exhale, round the spine. I'm guiding this session standing, but as you can imagine, all of these can be done seated as well. So if you want to be in a seated position or for any reason this feels kind of better for you, go ahead and sit if you want. Exhaling and inhaling. Notice what we are doing right now. It's like mainly focusing on the spine, right? Undulating the spine, opening the back muscles, and then front, like in this way, the vertebra, and then the back of the vertebra. Rounding and arching, inhaling, big, nice. Exhale. 2 more. You can do everything slower or faster, just coordinating it with your breath. Let's do one last time. And then release. Now release your hands on your sides. Just one last thing for the spine. This is called sometimes like wave or serpent. So your hands go down, hips go back, your head is facing down, and then you almost like roll, chin comes to the chest, and then roll and gaze up a little bit as the hands glide upward. And then you go same thing again, just like very gentle version of this spinal activation. Spine is our lifeline, as they say. And you can coordinate it with the breath, inhaling here. One last time. Roll the shoulders, and now bring the hands at the front and just take a few moments as the hands interlace. Circle the hands, wrists, fingers. Notice what is kind of moving right now. Try to change the direction and then see how confusing it can get. And now just widen your stance just slightly. We're going to be doing some stretches to activate mostly upper body, but as well as slowly we're kind of moving into the lower body as well. So keep your hands interlaced like that and inhale here. And when you exhale, push the palms away from you as you come into maybe a slight bend in your knees. If for any reason, again, your knees are not comfortable or you don't want to do this, you don't have to. When you bend the knees, make sure that knees don't go too much to the front, but rather your hips glide back. Knees are not passing in front of the toes. One last time. And now we're going to be changing. So this time hands will go up towards the sky. You can again come into a little bit of a bend, knees bend position. And if for any reason this feels too tight, maybe your shoulders are not happy about this, keep the hands open when you take the hands kind of pushing up, exhaling with a tiny bit of a bend in your knees. And you can choose to stay maybe instead of like moving. Maybe just staying here for a moment. And then back. Now we're going to be changing slightly. Again, hands either interlaced or maybe away from or kind of open position. So this time, open the hands out to the side. Inhale back to the center. So coming into body stretches. Center. Let's do one more time each side. Back to the center. Exhale. Then just come back. This time when you bring the hands, take the elbows really back, back, back. And then hands come now on to the kidney area. So circle, take a few moments to activate this Ming Men fire, as we call it, which is like the door of life, door of like vitality. Activate that a little bit. And then just take a few moments to circle the hips. You can do this like very simple, maybe just like a small circle, depending on where you are today. Or maybe go really kind of low and just make sure that again, all your joints are happy with whichever option you're doing. And reverse. Maybe start small. Your hands are at the back, around like the kidneys or SI joint area. And then maybe going lower if you like. One last time. And then just come into the center. And let's just like check how does the upper body feels. Different joints and even like the low back area. And then from here, moving on, as we're now incorporating the lower body as well, start to just move side to side, knocking on the door of life that we have activated. So with one hand, when the hand comes backward, make a soft fist with the hand and then just like slap or tap to the midpoint. That's not too low, not too high, somewhere in the middle, almost like right behind the belly button. And then front doesn't exactly matter in this moment, but just like make sure that when the hand comes back, you're hitting onto this point. And for the first, or let's say the initial part of this move, keep moving your heels when you turn to the opposite side. We're really like a little bit like stretch, a little bit of like activation, upper body, lower body integration, kind of coordinating things. Just to remind them like, oh, it's not only upper body, but we have the lower body also working together. And now we're gonna change this a little bit, make it a little bit more almost like intense. So stay like that, but widen your stance and do the same thing. And this time feet are like statically just on the ground and you are just moving like the upper body, as you can tell, but doing the same thing still. And just do a little bit more. And if you want to do a little bit more active, maybe move your legs or shifting the weight from one side to another. Notice maybe changes happening in your heartbeat or maybe like heat in the body. And we will come into almost like easier version again. as you slowly bring your feet closer towards each other, but just stay here now, still just facing to the front without adding the heel lifts. And then we're gonna now change this into like a body tapping, I would say. So start to knock with your fist hand to these corners of your shoulders, just right under the clavicle bones. And then the back hand still the midpoint. And then bring the hand, maybe the side of your hand, as you kind of, when you bring the hand to the front, tap into this midpoint in the shoulder. Or it could be just like the fist hand also. This hand, this point is really good for relaxation overall. And it's also a point that can help us to make decisions easier. So if you're struggling with like, am I going to choose this or that? Just like tap or slap or do something with this area to increase your decision-making capacity, let's say. Bring more clarity to your life. And now just come into the center. And now just, we're gonna circle around the body and then we're gonna do like whole body tapping. So for this one, just to activate the intestines, make sure that like our whole vitality is aware of what is going on. We're activating. Now reverse. I'm doing just circle clockwise and counterclockwise. Muscles and as well as the internal stuff, especially the intestines, to help our metabolism going on. And now we're gonna do like whole body tapping, starting with this point that we tapped earlier. You can make a fist with the hand or maybe like a cup hand and then go down like that. Come all the way, the inner part of the arm, all the way, and maybe say something, yay, great job. And then turn your hand and slap around the other side. And then we're gonna do one more time the same side. This area includes the lungs, heart, and pericardium. So it's all good stuff. And the upper part includes intestines and then like overall energy management of the body. So this kind of a massage, really like a great thing to do in the mornings and any time of the day for that matter. Come all the way down, give yourself a good, nice kind of clapping hand, if you're happy. And then do that one more time. Go all the way down. And when you are doing this, notice the almost like the changing sensations in your arms. Things are kind of getting more active, right? You can do this much slower. We're going quite kind of fast here, but you can do this much slower and take more time. Now go back again to this back area, but a little bit the upper part. Almost like above the kidneys. And then you can lean forward definitely and then slowly go downward now. Come all the way down to the hips and start like almost the midpoints of your hips and then the backs of the legs. Slap, 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 slap. And then come all the way down to the toes and then inner part of the legs. Same thing, slap, 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 slap. Whole body tapping. And then go back one more time, just slapping the back of the legs. And then moving up. This time, when we do this, do the sides of your legs. There's another kind of acupuncture channel through the sides. So we're making that one also active. Inner part is more or less the same. Just the outer part of the legs is changing. Now to the sides of the legs again. Going all the way. And then slowly coming up. Knees are soft all the way. And then when you come up, do the same thing again for the abdominal area. Circular tapping. And then reverse it 1 or 2 times. Just to almost like remind the body that like, yeah, we completed the circle. And now come on to the chest bone with your fingertips. It could be one at a time or maybe several of them. And now bring the attention to your breath. Have it as much as possible, kind of deep and nice. And now we're going to do something even more like an intenser version of this. We're going to do like a breath holding. So as you keep tapping here, inhale and hold the breath in. And then tap faster. And then exhale slowly and then slow down the tapping. We're going to do the same thing one more time. With your next inhalation, inhaling. Hold the breath in and do like a fast tapping, covering all the chest area. And then slowly release the breath, slow it down. And then come into complete stillness. Bring the hands in front of the abdomen. Let them kind of face each other. Allow your eyes to close and feel your whole body. From the tips of the toes, to the fingertips, to the top of the head. Notice what has changed. Notice what you how you activated everything. Notice if like everything in your body feels more like moving, flowing, activated. Sensations of tingling, maybe warmth, maybe kind of cold or warmth or coolness, whatever is there, like feel your aliveness. Almost this like sacred gift of aliveness that we have, and notice we are just appreciating, cultivating more awareness and maybe a little bit of like gratitude with this sense of awe that comes like, oh my God, look at this, right? We're alive. Just allow yourself to feel that. This amazing experience of being a human being. And then moving into a flow, open your eyes if they were closed, starting to move with your arms up and down. You can have a little bit of like knee softness, getting even more kind of prominent. If you don't want to add the legs, it's fine. But otherwise, when you move, your arms are a little bit at the front. So there's some kind of intention. You're not exactly like lifting the arms, but have it really moving almost like by the air underneath is lifting your arms. And the only thing that moves is like the wrist area. You're just changing the wrist position. Lifting, your whole body is moving with this sense of grace, almost like celebrating, let's say, being alive. And we're going to change this. So opening the arms out to the sides and then bring them in. Opening the chest. Notice like when the movement slightly changes, how do you almost like feel it in your body? Like for this one, maybe your chest lung area is widening, right? And exhale. And those of you who would like to have more action going on, you can start to almost like explore or just feel what happens when you lift the heels. This is just like an additional component you don't need to have, but it brings a little bit more engagement, activation to the legs and the sense of balance. Let's do 2 more without the heel lifts. Those of you who would like to do it, you can do it. These are the initial movements of the Shibashi set, and they are intended to almost like make us very familiar with the flow of the breath. Bring the hands down as we move, as we change the move. So hands move up, like spiral up, and we make a circle. Again, maybe small lift, bend in your knees if you want to. Separating the clouds. Imagine if you have anything that's kind of bothering you, maybe clouding your heart space, opening more space for yourself, releasing things from your heart. Inhaling, reaching up, exhaling down. Hands spiral as you are moving them upwards through the front line, like midpoint, line of the body. Up. Last one. And for this one, now when you open the hands, stay here, widen your stance a little bit and turn your palms to face up. This is sometimes called like rainbow dance or dancing with the rainbow, which has kind of different names. But we're going to be playing like side to side like that. And hands will also kind of keep changing. But just like to begin with, feel if that feels kind of good for your knees. The other option for the leg could be like turning your feet like that when you come to one side. So you choose which one kind of works better for you. Maybe your knees are not happy to do something like that, but you would just rather stay with this one. And then for the hand position, they're going to be moving also like that. So one hand at a time will come to the top of the head, as if you have a rainbow between your hands and you're moving into one side and then to the other. Exhaling to the side, inhaling to the center, and gently changing. Go slow, there's no need to kind of rush. And notice when you move like that, imagine there is almost like a connection between this top hand and then the top of the head. We are almost like activating really this point. There's an acupuncture point at the top of the head to open our almost like intuition, guidance, maybe connection with things that are bigger than ourselves, the nature, who knows. If you're doing this one, it's going to be like that, opening the or changing the leg position. Inhaling, exhaling. Let's do one more time each side. And then back to the center. Just stay here. Hold your arms again up towards the sky, but bring your feet closer towards each other. And then take your arms up towards the sky. For this one, we're going to be bending the knees. So you can make a fist with the hands if you want to. And hands are going to come through the like side body. You take them out to the side and make a circle with the hands. And then go like that. This looks like rowing a boat, right? That's the name also, rowing a boat. Let the hips go back as you are leaning to the front. And for the level of bending, let's say in your knees, that's up to you. If you want to go really low, your heartbeat will soon start changing. Otherwise, if you want to do a lighter version, maybe just like a softening the knees, but opening the arms. Notice we started with a few things for the lungs and heart, and all the while, shoulder joints area was working. Let's do two more. Inhale and exhale. Rowing a boat in the middle of a lake. And then just come in between, just one more thing, again for the upper body and then the shoulders. So feel your hands right now, they're almost like parallel to each other. And then just push one hand to the front. Knees are not changing, but only upper body is moving. One hand is kind of pushing across. The other hand goes back and makes a circle. And then this hand comes back and then they meet again. And then this hand starts to go back. And notice we are almost like all the stuff is about like shoulder area activation. We did many things like different versions. A lot of them are kind of doable, I would say, for most of us. So we just work with all of the joints. You can make it like a whole circle. A little bit of like oblique area activation as well. We're slowly changing from the upper body again to the mid part of the body, and then lower body we're gonna move. Let's do one each side again. When you push the hands, you're exhaling. And then just take a moment here in between. We're going to be changing now, incorporating the lower body as well. For this one, have one hand facing up, one hand is almost like down. Your stance can be again slightly wider. And we did something very similar to this one earlier. So one hand is going out to this, like going across, let's say, the heel can lift. This hand is going to be leaning back a little bit and then down. When this hand again goes backwards, this hand will go to the front. Side to side. Lifting the ball, that one is called. Lifting the ball with one hand. As if you have something in your hand and you are bringing it to this area like in front of the shoulder, let's say. And then release. Your heel can lift or doesn't have to, whichever kind of feels more convenient for you. Moving a few more. Notice how gentle this twists, this rotation for the spine, incorporating lower body, upper body, spine. One last time. And then come to the center. Feel the sensations between your hands. And now we're going to be moving both hands. Kind of similar thing, rotations, but both hands are moving. So have your hands moving this side. Try to maintain the same distance between your hands. And you can even imagine there's like a ball between your hands. And then reach back. And then bring the hands in front. And then turn to the side. You're still gazing to the area, gazing at the moon. Between the hands, and then to the other side. A lot of upper body rotation, as you can tell. And if you want to go again low here, maybe you can do that. You can come into like a deep squat as you are moving. Or if you want to go and do the seated, that's also good as well. Gently moving from one side to the other. Let's do one more each side. Gazing at the moon, looking at to the space between your hands. And then down, just come in between again, just adjust your stance. And now this time, pushing the palm away. So this hand, one hand is facing up towards the sky, while the other hand is kind of being pushed, the palm is being pushed across. And then to the other side. You almost like feel the sense of pushing. This is for the liver. So liver is in this area. So we're just like pushing, activating or releasing maybe the liver energies, any stagnation in your liver, which could cause some resentments or some anger coming up sometimes. So when you are pushing the hands like that, become aware. There are variations of this actually towards the end of this set. We're not going to be able to do the whole set, but in that one, maybe we can do those actually. So you're making a fist with the hand in this one, and then really pushing. And then the other one. Really becoming aware, almost like not exactly like ignoring or trying to push it down, but if you have some anger or especially unexpressed anger, you can just release this through this movement and then release that into the universe for it to be recycled or kind of composted. 2 more each side. pushing the hand. And then back to the center, and just take a moment to become aware. Again, we're in between. And now we're gonna move into this cloud hands this time. I think we did this last week also. So one hand goes in front, the other hand is at the bottom, and you are moving from one leg to the other. As you have the hand moving, your gaze is towards the upper hand, and then your hands switch when you go to the side, when the weight is mostly on this leg. Have awareness of like both hands, and then when you come to the side, switch. Let's do one more each side. And then just come to the center, adjust the position again. Knees are soft, spine long. Just a final move. There are others in the meantime, in between, which we skipped, but this is the last one to calm down the chi. Balance, harmonize, and then calm down. We have activated a lot of things. Hands come to the chest level, and then we slowly bring them down. 3 more. Last one. As you bring the hands down, cross the web of the index and the thumb, and just do a few nice circles. Imagine you are almost like taking in this energy that you have generated all around, including the center of your palms. Reverse the direction to go into this main vitality center, the lower dantian, or the elixir field as we call it, or to become almost like part of your own biochemistry. Just hold your hands here now, and now bring your feet closer towards each other and breathe. Feel again what has changed, what happened, how are you feeling right now? Tapping into again this full body awareness. Notice yourself almost like swinging side to side a little bit, or just like rocking a little bit like a bamboo in the wind. Noticing how you find this through the center, the balance again in between. And we're gonna release this with your next exhalation with a sigh. Open your eyes if they were closed. And then slowly, as we transition now into the guided meditation, find a place to either sit or lie down comfortably. If you are going to be seated, just have the spine upright. Same thing for if you are lying down. Have the spine almost like fully straight. In the middle, feel that being in the middle, and then your hands are open out to the sides, your feet are out to the sides if you are lying down. And notice how things are right now, becoming aware of the sensations right under your feet, your buttocks, wherever your hands are touching. Getting connected with this embodied presence right now, things in your body. Notice if there is anything else, any kind of other sensations that may be more prominent for your experience. And then notice maybe your eyes. There's kind of like maybe they're closed. If they're open, just have them like soft gaze. The sense of like your eyes as a sense organ, whatever you are sensing in front of your eyes. And then become aware of your ears. Any sounds. It could be just the sound of refrigerator around, or maybe a bird coming from outside. Notice if there's any smell. And then notice back again all these sensations, like different perceptions that you may have in different parts of the body. Get in touch, a little bit curiosity, a little bit of like really kind attention to anything and everything that's happening in your body. If there are thoughts, it's okay, just notice the mind is busy, active, or maybe there are plans or judging, whatever is there, just acknowledge everything. And now notice in this stillness, there's something happening, something is moving. So take a moment to connect with your precious breath. And notice how it feels, almost like a wave up and down, body just gently expanding and contracting. It's almost like that's the main connection to our aliveness, right? You don't need to change anything, just recognize how your body, almost like the biointelligence, knows how to breathe, when to breathe. Just allow yourself to observe this. How does that happen? Notice how the breath changes from inhale to exhale. Sometimes you may notice like a space as the breath is changing from one to the other. As you're trying to observe the breath, notice the mind is doing what it's most used to doing. There's going to be thoughts coming or random things really like popping up. That's completely normal. It happens to everybody. Just relax. See that almost like the background, and invite the attention again, just to rest a few more moments on the breath. And invite a sense of almost like awe, to like, oh my God, see what's happening. Isn't that amazing? And then one other element in addition to this almost like magic that's happening, notice how everything is changing. It's constantly changing. And notice there is this constant flow. Even though we think like we are static, we are seated, but everything that's alive is flowing, moving. And there is movement and flow, there is aliveness. Just allow yourself, almost like get familiar with this, how things are really changing. Hema Chodron says, life is so fluid. It's more like being in a river than standing on a solid ground. Just allow yourself to be more open and flexible to that sense of things are moving, changing constantly. We are in a flow. And also for the thoughts also, just check for a moment, like how does it feel when you are almost like captured or like captivated by a thought? How you are almost like contracted versus when you are more with the breath and just being in the flow, which could feel a little bit more kind of spacious. You may feel almost like bigger than your physical body. Resting in this flow of really like base or almost like foundation of this life, this being alive. Allow yourself to just get familiar with that without adding anything on top. Like there's no almost like qualification. It's just a sense of magic. Look at that. You may almost feel your awareness almost like a big sky. Things come, they just almost like pop up on their own and then go. They disappear. Things change. Staying relaxed, even the attention, let it be really soft attention, almost like kindly observing. As we slowly come to the end of this practice, allow your breath to be slowly getting kind of longer, deeper. When you feel ready, you can open your eyes, come into any small movement, maybe your head, neck, your hands, anything that wants to move, maybe a little bit of a stretch here and there. And as you come back to this kind of activity of life, just take a moment, go slow to feel how you feel inside. Get connected with the outside, your surroundings. Thank you so much, everyone. Stay well.